Greetings and salutations, this is Brian from Mechbladestudios. So in my infuriating quest to try to find certain older shows to cover, all I asked is for a box set. There's more than 5 episodes, you know. I randomly saw a thumbnail on Netflix for a little show called A.I.C.O Incarnation. It's a Netflix original anime developed by Bones, released worldwide on March 9th, 2018. I had no idea what it was about going in, so I fired it up to check it out. Wow, that was a fast intro. Usually there's a lot more history behind the things I cover here, but the only piece of media that exists outside this anime is that there's an ongoing manga adaptation going on since November 25th, 2017. So the year is 2035, and Japan has been ravaged by a disaster called the Burst, creating a giant mass of what's called malignant matter, which just grows and absorbs everything in its path. Our protagonist, A.I.C.O, with a K, lives in the safe zone and is recovering from a car accident that apparently killed the rest of her family. One day, a mysterious transfer student named Yuya Kanzaki shows up 2 days before the end of the school year. Yuya offers to take A.I.C.O to her family home for the first time since the accident, but they're pursued by the Control Agency of Artificial Creatures, or CAAC. After losing the CAAC, they meet a former associate of A.I.C.O's father's, Susumu Kurose, who reveals to A.I.C.O that her body is not real, but an artificial duplicate called an Artificial and Intelligent Cellular Organism, or A.I.C.O for short. Not robotic, but made from synthetic living cells. Apparently, after the accident, a procedure was done to put A.I.C.O's real brain into a duplicate body, while the duplicate's brain was placed in a real body while it recovered. Unfortunately, this procedure created the burst, and thus the malignant matter. Not only that, but A.I.C.O's mother and brother are still alive in a cocoon created by the burst in the lab where the incident occurred. Yuya's mission is to bring A.I.C.O back to Primary Point, the ground zero of the burst, to switch the bodies and brains back, which will destroy the matter for good and return Japan to normal. The rest of the show follows A.I.C.O and Yuya along with a team of mercenaries called the Divers as they make their way to Primary Point, fighting matter and CAAC along the way. Back in the safe zone, Kurose monitors the team's progress and uses his resources at the research center, responsible for the brain transfer operation and the creation of artificial cells, to help out. Another doctor, Izazu, tries to figure out a way to revive his comatose daughter, Yuzuha. For a 12-episode series, the show oddly falls into a formulaic structure after the first few episodes, where the team travels a bit, fights some of the matter in some lackluster fight, and then reach a checkpoint where they use what they call a guillotine shutter to kill the massive matter that's currently attacking them. The last few episodes eschew that formula because, spoiler alert, they do make it to Primary Point, and a whole bunch of crazy revelations are made, some foreshadowed better than others. The characters, while not complete blank slates, aren't all that interesting for the most part. A.I.C.O doesn't really change over the course of the show. She starts nice, determined, and caring, and ends nice, determined, and caring. She has a bit of difficulty understanding her situation, which makes sense given her circumstances, but she seems to really like repeating everything being told to her.
If we go in there, we can get your real body back.
We can get my real body back.
We'll get to that. She's unfortunately more of a MacGuffin than a character. Yuya was conspicuously monotone for most of the show. I get that the cold, icy tactician is another trope alongside the hot-blooded protagonist, and I try to ignore the iffy dub, but I've never seen a more dull character meant to be one of the leads. I suspected there's probably something more to him than meets the eye, and to the show's credit, there is, but even when that secret's revealed, he keeps the same dull expression the entire time. That being said, his actions and intentions save him from being completely boring, but his written dialogue is dreadful.
If I were a member of your family, I'm sure I would feel very sad if you never came home.
Oh, why's that?
I once had a family as well.
The Divers, while not all that interesting, at least all stick out from one another. They all have their own mini-arcs, but they're nothing we haven't seen before. Shino's the standard big brother-like leader. Kaide's the tsundere who fights recklessly and learns to be more cautious. Shiraishi's A.I.C.O's caretaker. Kazuki's the wacky one that suddenly develops a crush on A.I.C.O. Sagami's the guy with trust issues, and Haruko's the quiet assassin type. None of them except maybe Kaide are annoying, but I wouldn't say any of them are memorable. Back in the safe zone, we have Kurose, who's a friendly, kind of scruffy, man-on-the-inside type. Izazu spends his time moping about his daughter, which is understandable until the endgame, and Nanbara has the Rubian problem of existing for a single purpose, to make sure that our heroes don't get nuked by the SDF. I often forget these characters exist. I'll say this though, even though the narrative is very basic and the characters are rather stock, there is a very prominent theme of family involved. A.I.C.O pushes on because she wants to save her mother and brother. Izazu, as misguided as he became, did what he did to save his daughter. It's not a revolutionary theme, but it's something. On the aesthetic side of things...
Now that the sun is up, the temperature has started rising. Matter fog? Yeah, that's what we call this mist.
It looks like your muscles are recovering.
Huh? Oh, good evening, Dr. Isazu.
Yeah. Like I said during Godzilla, I don't mind dubs as long as they don't distract me or alter the source material. This dub leaves something to be desired. A.I.C.O sounds shocked at everything, even if nothing particularly shocking is happening. Yuya sounds like a robot, even though there are no autonomous robots in this universe of any kind. Kaede's direction must have been out-tsundere every other tsundere ever.
This is so unfair. I don't like it.
Isazu sounds like an edgelord teenager rather than a doctor, shady or otherwise. The animation is nothing to write home about, and like I implied earlier, the fight choreography is boring. It's just a bunch of people blasting at matter which just attacks with tendrils or absorption. The vehicles all use CGI, and unlike some other anime, it actually blends pretty well. The tanks remind me of Tachikomas from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. The opening theme is actually haunting, atmospheric, and cool, but the rest of the soundtrack has nothing special whatsoever. It never even perks up for fight scenes. Overall, I give A.I.C.O Incarnation a 6 out of 10. The interesting premise, mysteries, and a few characters save the show from complete mediocrity, but it takes a while to get to the payoff after the first few episodes. The plot and action do pick up at the end though. I think it's worth watching if you got a few spare hours and this pops up in your recommended list, but I wouldn't actively seek it out. It's an okay little show, but not without its flaws. Oh, and watch it with subtitles unless you want this to be a comedy. So that's it for me for now. What do you guys think? Have you seen A.I.C.O? If you have, did you like it or dislike it? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and subscribe for weekly reviews of anime, video games, and movies. Also, click that bell icon so you know exactly when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. This is Brian from Mechbladestudios, signing off.